gentlemen, welcome back to the Maxbet podcast, a podcast dedicated to gaming.
We're your hosts. I'm here with Landon Michael Jones, and I'm Mike McKiskey. Let's get started.
Let's roll. Are we recording?
You get no notes.
This obviously should be the beginning of the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Maxbet podcast. It has been a little while since we've got to chat with you guys and girls.
Yeah, no doubt. I feel like a bear just woke up from hibernation.
Yeah.
Just back in the game, like fell asleep for 6 months.
You look like you've had some sleep. How you feeling?
I feel good.
Good. You look good.
I got 9 million kids in my house, but other than that, feeling good. Yeah, I'm happy to be back. I think this is exciting.
Then you come to work and you have 9 million more kids. So
It's just one kid.
you always have a bunch of kids
At
here.
work. Yeah, no, it's fun. That's how we do it. But no, man, having fun. Ready, excited to be back on the air. Cannot be more pumped for where we're sitting.
Yep.
You want to spoil the beans? Where are we at?
Well, we're at the new L&W studio, hosted
Inside Light and Wonder.
Inside Light and Wonder, the
So,
Maxbet podcast.
That's it. This is
Yeah.
the Maxbet podcast, Inside Light and Wonder Studios. So that's a cool thing.
That's a great thing.
So I laugh because I just, and I know we've talked about this sometimes before, where like the journey for us in the podcast, like I literally tell people, like, how'd you get this started? You got all these listeners now. And it's like, well, I don't know. Like you had the idea. We had this microphone thing. And we're literally recording. I remember in COVID, I'm sitting in my home office with some not so great technology. You're on like the other side of a Zoom.
In Nashville, Tennessee.
Also not such great technology. And we're just like, we're just going to do this.
Yeah.
And to think that day has somehow spiraled into, we're in a, I don't know how much it costs, state of the art though, podcast facility here at Light and Wonder that they help, they're sponsoring us with the space. Unbelievable. So it's super cool to be back here. It's really cool to be set up with like proper crew. Like you can't see them off camera, but we got a whole crew of guys here that are all top of their trade. So this is fun. It's fun.
And if you're listening right now and you're like, what does that mean to me? That means if you have a dream, follow it.
Chase your dream.
Just go after it. I started this in my mom's garage. Look at me now.
Yeah.
Look at me now.
Not a billionaire, but we're
Far
not broke
from.
either. Yeah. Oh man, what a wild ride. So yeah, it's exciting to be back. It's been cool because you actually posted a little preview.
Yeah.
We're sitting here, you post a little selfie of the guys here and you go, we're coming back. That got a lot more attention than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I mean, you got texts, calls,
Texts,
private
calls,
messages, comments. I mean, they're like, oh, really? And people, what's cool about it is a lot of times you see some of the social stuff and you go, well, Mike posted a thing and Landon liked it. It's like, well, of course, man. You're my best buddy. Like, yeah, it's going to happen.
I like my own posts. Apparently, you're not supposed to do that.
It's
But
not a
I'm the
faux pas.
first one to always like it. Because why would I post it if I didn't like
You
it?
should look at the algorithm and figure that out. Like, say, like, I wonder if that helps or hurts you. Like, does it? Because at some point, there's probably something where it goes, I don't know if this is true. This is getting a lot of likes. I get those notices. So-and-so posted our guy here, actually. So we have, like, I don't want to get his title wrong, but I know he runs, like, government affairs, and he's doing, like, legislative stuff for us.
Yeah.
Howard Glazier, right? Stud. He posts a lot of things that seem to get a lot of likes that LinkedIn will tell me, your coworker, Howard, is onto something. He's got a lot of views on this. You should check this out. I'm like, how do you get recommended? Like, that's pretty cool. And I think it's because you get the
AI.
likes. So you're starting yourself on the good path by giving yourself a thumbs up.
That's good.
My theory.
We're on a good path.
Yeah, our friends make fun of us, but the algorithm loves you.
I don't think everybody listening knows what happened.
Who we are? What do you mean? Oh, like
In
the whole
terms of
journey.
where the hell did we go, right?
So welcome back to old friends, and
Yeah.
nice to meet you to the new friends. But yeah, so you want to give them a brief overview? You want me to talk about it? Or?
We ran too fast, too soon,
Too close to
too
the sun.
far.
Yeah.
And here we are.
We made pretty much every mistake a couple of 30-something entrepreneurs could make. But yeah, look, we were working in the gaming industry, podcast going well. We chased the dream. This is the elevator version. Chased the dream out to try to start a TV network dedicated to gaming.
Why not?
Had some fun. Learned a million things.
Yeah, don't get into the TV industry.
Chief
Rule
among the-
number one.
Chief among the learnings is you're not a TV executive and I'm not a TV executive. But we had all that. And then like I don't know what you want to call it, like a salvation in the wind. They come up and they go, hey, we need help here. And you want to interview for some jobs? And we interview, we pass the interviews, and here we are. So back at Light and Wonder, that process in itself, winding down a company, wasn't lawsuity, but it was legally tense for a little while. You go,
Other
okay.
than HBO trying to take us out, I don't know if I can say that.
You can say that because they didn't But like that is a really weird day.
Yeah.
Right? When you're, again, just two guys started this in their mom's garage for you and my own garage for me. And it was like, get a letter from HBO. And if you're wondering, you can't mean that HBO. Like Game of Thrones HBO. Yes, that HBO. Sent us a letter and saying, hey, we don't like how much attention you're getting. You guys are Maxbet, and we own Max everything. Cinemax, HBO Max, Max. So they send you this giant letter, and they go, hey, guys, can you knock it off? And we're
Can you take the Max out of your name and just be Bet Media?
Yeah, you're doing too much. Do less. And we're like, well, no. Like, by the way, we're not a threat to you. We don't do the things. And they go, okay. So once we actually connected with them and said, here's what we do. We're not trying to like backdoor you into some sort of TV takeover. They relented, and we made a deal to keep our trademark, in effect, and we're going forward. So, but that is a little scary when your lawyer pings you and goes, so HBO sent a thing. You go, uh-oh.
Yeah, that was interesting in the downfall. But here we are. We're now at Light and Wonder. We have a awesome new studio.
Yes.
We have a ton of new guests coming our way.
That's right.
Keeping the same great content.
Yeah.
Talking about the same great stuff. A lot of changes in the industry. A lot of cool things happening.
Yeah.
A lot of learning to do.
Also true.
And you guys have a lot of driving, I'm sure. So
we're hoping everybody's
back.
back in the office. You know what's funny? So podcasts, come to find out, you learn things, right? You listen to some people listen because they like true crime stories. Some people are educational, whatever, comedy. Almost all of it's in the car.
yeah.
Like podcast viewership or whatever you want to call it, consumership was way down when people were locked at home. Like they just weren't, they wanted something else. But when you're driving back and forth, you turn on the Mike and Landon show and here we go. So,
And we're in it to win it.
my favorite part about the new studio, Light and Wonder, the whole thing, so anyone watching on video, if you're seeing Landon gyrating slightly or shaking, his legs don't touch the ground in the chair.
This is a long way from this chair to the floor.
His legs are swinging like a preschooler on a swing. So we got that going for us. And that fact is now in the back of my head every time we record. And so until I get you a foot bar, I love this.
If your legs don't dango and your old nickname wasn't Mango,
Yeah.
then it's a shout out to
Pookie.
to our boy Pooks.
Oh, buddy. So yeah, we got the dangling legs HBO thing. Man, just got back from ice. So we'll do a recap on that next week.
Yep.
'Cause it's been a whirlwind. So next show we'll
Cold and rainy. Rainy and cold.
little chilly. Didn't forget my jacket though, so that was good news.
Yeah.
What's coming up after this? So we got some stuff. I'm speaking at a thing. So I didn't tell you this guy. So I met this guy Willie.
I already love him.
Just
with
name's
that name, Willie.
Here's what you got to know. His name's Willie, and he's from Australia.
Okay.
That's a win.
Yeah.
You already love the guy. Well, he's running this thing, the World Game Protection Conference. So this is an element of, I think it's table games focused more so than not, just because I feel like table games might be considered easier to cheat, or certainly it's more popular to try to cheat counting cards or that roulette scam or whatever. So he runs this whole conference, and he says, hey, will you come and speak? I go, yeah, man, but I'm not like, I don't, like some of these guys like FBI, CDC. I'm like, I'm not like an any FBI. I don't like, I'm happy to do it. He goes, no, what he thinks is missing. And he could be right. We'll see. I'm going to the conferences in March here in Vegas. He goes, that link between. He goes, because what typically happens is you guys, meaning the vendors, the Light and Wonders, whoever else in the world, you create all these great products. They go in the casino, but you didn't like cheat proof them. So you didn't put them in the lab and go, well, how could we scam this thing? What if I put a magnet in my belt and like sat next to it? Would that cheat the game? Like, you know what I mean? Now, maybe we do. And we should have some of our guys on to talk about some of the testing. He goes, but you're driving the surveillance guys nuts. so let's get together and figure out how we bridge this gap. And so I'm excited to do some of that. I think that'll be fun to go speak at that conference and learn more about the security side. And this just keeps going. We're 2.5, almost 3 years into the show now, and I'm still going, I didn't even know that the conference existed. I didn't even know. And it's like 16 years old, and security guys are mad at us. And here we go. Let's do it.
And then this is going to be one of my favorite guests that we have down the line.
Mm-hmm.
While we were in this grace period of not doing any podcasts, Mike decided to go out and get 450 tattoos by Joey, who won Ink Master, who's here in the town. What's the studio name?
Revolt Tattoo.
Revolt Tattoo. And so Mike casually asked Joey if he wanted to come on the show. And I think it would be a cool kind of, I know it's not gaming, but I can't imagine how many people win jackpots and just walk in and get a tattoo with the money they won, or
Well, that's what I want to know.
trip to Vegas.
So his shop's in the Fashion Show Mall.
Yeah.
So that's a huge, like a lot of people coming in. I was really amazed. Actually, I was sitting there. So you're right. Over the holiday, I decided left arm's getting done. So made a lot of progress on that.
It's awesome.
I mean, thank you, man. So, but it's like fun. So I'm not done yet, but we're going. But so it's like 24 hours total, probably over 30 days, just sitting in the chair, getting work done. And I'm watching going, I planned a lot of this out. Him and I had been emailing. Like, we're making a strategy here. People walk in and go, hey, man, I want a neck tattoo that says, like, God bless.
No regrets.
Whatever. Yeah. And it's like, you say neck tattoo? And he goes, yeah. And so they go, can somebody here do that? And they're like, well, yeah. And, he's got world-class artists. And the guy just goes, what do you want? Yeah, no regrets. Got it right here. Spelled it. And, I'm going, bang. 2 hours later, guy's got full neck tattoo. I'm like, well, did you just wake up? Did you know you were doing that today? Like, you woke up and just decided, I'm at the mall. Let me throw this on. I mean, luckily for him, it's world class. But yeah, he's a cool guy, and he gambles. That was the key.
And for us, a little pressure. Our second run of this podcast game has to work. Because Mike has a skull of Maxbet tattooed on his arm.
I'll probably post it on social. But I got the old the skull. Yeah, so I put the playing cards on.
Yeah, so support us.
Well, we talked about it once, like probably a year ago, going, well, you going to get a tattoo? Who's going to get it first? And I knew it was going to be me. But I didn't know when. And so now's the time.
Bro, I'm planning out my tats already.
Right.
I'm going to show them to you.
You know who to go to.
Huh?
You know who to go to.
Oh, for sure. I'm stoked. I've got the first one planned.
Good.
I'll show it to you after this
I can't wait to see
episode. I wish we could pull it up on the TV.
Drop. Yeah.
I'm going to be the most tatted dude here in town. Probably not, but
I'll tell you, just from hanging out in a tattoo, you're not even close.
Yeah.
I won't even be close. I'll have a whole arm done, and it'll be like, hey, rookie, like, you just come see me when you
I have one little heart on my forearm.
You got, Cupid's arrow. You want to tease the people on what you might be getting? Is there like a design you're willing to talk about? This kind of feels fun.
Ooh. That's deep.
I don't know.
Let's wait. I'm going to wait for that. Yeah. I'm going to wait for the breakout of
personal artist. Yeah, I was just curious.
So I have a question for you, good sir.
Ask it.
You have been at Light and Wonder now for almost 7 months. Am I correct? Almost 8?
May 2nd.
Yeah.
So whatever that math is.
Pretty hard math.
7-8 months, yeah.
Sounds like, 7-8 months.
Less than a year, more than 6 months. How about that?
How you doing? What are you thinking? How you feeling?
I'm pumped.
You were given one of the hardest verticals in gaming to come in and take over.
Yeah, especially at this point in time.
Yeah.
Right? So I think if you were to look at tables even 10 years ago, I wouldn't say it's easy because it's never easy, but it makes a lot more sense.
Right.
Because you go, well, this is what we're doing, and the machine is working. Last couple of years between different court rulings and the pandemics and, all these things just completely flip side, the whole, the flip turned upside down, the whole tables business, right? And so you're going, well, how do you do that? Like, how do you redesign something that is kind of pays homage or keeps an honor and a respect to the past, but also tries to bring this vertical into the future, right? And so that's the key. I don't know that we know that yet. We think we know that. And what we'll show as the year goes on, we'll start innovating and launching new products that'll go, look, here's a step closer to what we think the future looks like. And I think, hopefully we're right, and we'll be interested to see how it goes. But, like, that's the key. And I think for us, like, what we've seen in the past where people maybe have failed is they just wanted to go from, like, Flintstones to Jetsons. And you're like, well, you can't do that, right? And if I don't want to say tables is the Flintstones, but yeah. But if tables is in kind of maybe the middle of the pack, you go, well, you can't just go full space back to the future. Like, you have to step forward.
There's some cool things happening in this space, and I can't wait to bring them up on future episodes. Because it's changing quickly. The game is changing quickly in the casino space in general, in my opinion, just with the cross-platform and online and
for sure
digital, and it's...
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing we were talking about just today. Like, when you look at tables just selfishly, because that's what we do, right?
Yep.
Between, looking at table space and electronic table space, you have to have that platform to connect.
Right.
So, like, the problem's going to be, like, when everyone says, like, hey, connect the future and be the new kind of buzz, like, how do you connect land-based and online? And that's true of not just the games, but the rest of the portfolio offering. You go, well, the key is you have to have, like, things to plug into on both sides, right? So if you have an online gaming platform, well, there's all these hooks into it. So you can pull the data, you can push the game content, right? Like, And if you have a slot machine, let's just point at that, then you go, well, yeah, you could, same kind of hooks, right? So you start to make a world where those things connect. When you go old school tables and you're going, well, you got 2 cards in your hand trying to decide if you want to hit, stand, stay, or double, right? Like, what are you going to do? So you go, well, how do I connect to you? Well, I don't know. So you got to put something in the table, right? You got to, and then that's strange. So you go, what do you put in, right? So like, it just becomes this really strange world where you don't want tables to get left out. Because personally, I have a lot of fun playing table games, right? So like, it has a lot of fun elements, and it's really easy to understand. But bridging that platform divide it's a challenge I look forward to every day.
And we're going to be having lots of conversations about it with a lot smarter people than us. And I'm excited to start bringing those people to the table.
So other than Joey, who's coming on for tattoo casino stories, that'll be kind of a fun hang. Who are you looking forward to having on the show?
Oh man, there's so many different.
We have a few commits. I'm not going to spoil them all, so I'm just interested to see who you.
Yeah,
Also, what you think? We got mugs. Just so you know, we're not selling them. We're just drinking out of them.
We even have mug coasters.
Mug coasters, koozies, coasters, you name it.
Man, I don't know if I want to spoil some of the names.
Okay.
I'm looking forward because now the setup's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
So we're able to do interview. We're able to have guests on with the TVs and
like Zoom style.
Yeah, like Zoom style. That'll look more professional.
But keep the quality.
The quality. So I'm excited to be talking to some of the European customers. Simon from the Hippodrome, I'm pretty excited to talk to, and just look at the business in Europe and kind of what they're doing in their space, because it's completely different than what we're doing in North America. It's completely different what they're doing in Asia. It's completely different what they're doing in Australia, and start kind of tying it all together to see if there's any trends. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited to get those international guests on the show, as opposed to having to just do everyone around in town that could drive to our local studio. Yeah. So I think the expansion of our guests and the quality of the material is going to be tenfold of what it was in the past.
That is a good point, because like there's so many people that don't live here. They're like, dude, I'd love to do the show. And you go, when you coming to Vegas? Why do I have to come to Vegas? Well, because it's going to sound horrible if you don't, right? Like the energy fades. I mean, there's been a few, like we did Scotty Olive and he was remote, and we in Dallas Orchard, right? So there's guys where you can make it work. But those felt like the exception, right? And so I think a lot of times the energy's better face to face, the sound's better face to face. You get the beautiful crew over here to help us out face to face, right? So that'll be fun. We got Dr. Brett coming back. That's coming up soon.
Yep.
So she's cool. She just took over for Bo at IGI, International Gaming Institute. So that'll be big for her. I mean, I don't know what she's going to say, but like that'll be
talk about her conference coming up.
That's right. Well, we're helping at that too.
Yeah.
So that's the International Conference on Gambling and Risk Taking.
Yep.
The name is how I know an academic created it, because it's a very long name, but it's supposed to be an awesome conference. I've never been.
Every 3 years.
Every 3 years, yeah. So this is the year. Sounds like they've been putting it off due to the pandemic, and now we're coming back here in Vegas, May 23 through 25. So I know Dr. Brett will talk about this when she's on. Looking for sponsors. So if you want to sponsor that, kind of an academic exercise and do some cool stuff there. Looking for, I think, speakers still. But what's cool is, like she said, so she wants us to help. I don't know what we're going to say. I don't know if we're doing like a hosting thing or what, but we're in. We love her. So we just said, you need it, we're in.
You know what I'm excited about doing this year that we really haven't done a good enough job of in the past is doing competitive series. So doing series on different...
Yeah, that's a bear. We've been we're trying to put them together now, but like that'll be that's a homework assignment and a half right there. So
for sure, but we're doing it.
Well, what Lana's talking about, just so everybody knows, is like, so a lot of times we just get a one-off guest. We go, hey, Dr. Brett's here. Let's chop it up, and she's great, and she'll woo you and rock your world for 45 minutes, and then we're off and running. But a lot of times we'll get somebody else academically 6 months later, and they don't always connect, right? So what we're looking to do is to create series where you say, okay, maybe we're talking about the ones we want. So if anyone listening that has comments, send them to us. We'll look at what we can build. Do we do a cashless gaming series and get some of the leaders and the thought kind of guys in cashless together and say, well, whether they're all here together, or we do a series of episodes where we go, okay, we'll interview a cashless provider, a cashless customer, a cashless user, like how do you do it? And then say, well, let's just talk through it. Not, one a month for 3 months and have it all connect, right? So you can kind of learn that, or sports betting, or emerging tech, or whatever the topics are. So
yeah, and if you want to learn about a topic, let us know, and we'll try to hunt down a guest that knows more than obviously we do on that topic.
That's it. Yeah, and that's the fun
We'll
part, I
roll
think,
with
for us, right? Because like it's funny. Like in the day to day, we're supposed to be like experts in our field, so we feel like we're in a position to be like we teach others. But in here, it's like no.
Dude,
we learn.
You
Like,
learn so much. We learn so much in a year just interviewing people in different areas of the business. It's exciting that it's coming back.
Nice.
That's what I'm most excited about for myself personally. Like I'm excited to talk to these different leaders in all aspects of our business and just kind of try to put it together. So,
do you so did you gamble over the break? So we've been off for 6 months of the show. Have you got any cool gambling stories from the last 6 months? Or you just been nose down?
I'm flatlining it.
Yeah.
I'm on a break.
Yeah.
I am not gambling at the moment.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I've had some fun wins. Last year I had some pretty big wins, but that's gambling for you. I also had some pretty big losses, so that's gambling for you.
We know about those. Those don't always come up. But there was a period for, I don't know, last year, if the IRS isn't listening, where I feel like every other day you'd go to get gas or a soda and then text me, I just won $2,000. Like, I'm like, bud, you went for a Red Bull and a pack of gum. Yeah, well, I got those things and I won $4,000 because I hit.
That did happen. I was
like every other day,
shout out to
like.
Terrible Herbs. I ran into the gas station. I just had cash. I had $100, and the lady's like, I don't have change for that. So I look over and there's a slot machine. I was like, I'll make change real quick because they have a little cash ticket in thing.
Tito.
And a Tito machine, right? Yeah. And I went and put the 100 in. It was just on dollar. I hit dollar, and I hit 4 aces with the kicker. First hand.
Yeah.
So I was thinking I was just going to lose the 5, get 95 out, cash it out, take it out, have lower change for the lady, and then I ended up having to wait 20 minutes for the terrible guys to come pay me 2 G's.
Like the main guys. Yeah, that's what I was laughing about, because for those that had never been there, like our old studio, I mean, you could stand at our front door and throw a football and hit terribles. Like it wasn't far. Like you could walk there. So the round trip, including standing in line to buy the gum, pick the gum off the shelf, whatever, it's 5 minutes.
For sure.
So we're chatting. You're like, yeah, I'm going to run over here and do a thing. Yep, got it. 10 minutes go by, 20 minutes. Finally, I'm like, dude, are you okay? Like, I'm like, did you somehow get mugged in the 42 feet it is? And you're like, no, I just won 4,000 or whatever it was. And I was like, you're a madman. That's only happens to you. And then it was like 4 days later, you went to lunch at the shout out PT's Pub. Lunch there, and you could throw some money in, and
$7,000.
Boom, 7. And I'm like, look at this guy. No.
And I gave all of that back.
Like we do.
What is the best story that you have personally in the time that we've been gone, which has been almost 6 months? 7.
Personal story?
Yeah. The best thing that's happened to you? Family trip?
Oh, man. Well, we do some cool family trips. We did, so my daughter's birthday, we did Legoland.
Yeah,
like
cool.
Middle of the week, had the park to ourselves. I mean, it's the first time in my history of my life, you go to the park, right? I think it's like 10 a.m. open, whatever. By 2 in the afternoon, the kids are like, yeah, we're good. We
hit all the rides.
We hit them all, rode them all 4 times because you just stand on, they stay on and keep going. And they're like, so we're good. What do you want to do next? Like, you're done? That's it? It's like, okay. So that was fun. Yeah, I don't know. Like I've been, you know me, like we don't have to get names and stuff, but like we're foster parents, right? So that kind of happened. I guess we might have talked about that on the show before, because like if we did our last episode over the summer, we technically started that in the spring, but that's been like a roller coaster for better part of a month, for 9 months or so. And so weirdly started that, I guess, right before I joined here. But so that's been fun. Like that's the roller coaster is the best way to describe it, right? Because there's days where you're just like on top of the world, and then there's days where like you're dealing with the court staff, like this is crazy. So pretty pumped about that. But that's one of my tattoos is adoption related, and it's like passionate for me. So that's
we'll have to go through some of those.
Yeah, that's a whole. We'll do it with Joey when he's here.
But yeah, if you've made it this far, this is just going to be Mike and I just chatted up the longest intro possible.
Yeah. You're like, what is this? The interview still coming? No. We're just going to reintroduce with us. We wanted to, a few reasons, just warm you back up a little. Part of it is also
the boys are back in town. I was singing
you know how we're not TV executives? We're also not a cappella guys. That's
true.
We're good at other things. All right, so in the spirit of the history of our show,
yes,
I'm going to issue you the Maxbet challenge. Who are you going to go and ask to come on the show?
That's very leadership of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm I'm gonna go ask Joey from me.
Oh yeah, nice.
Who do I want to chase down? Is kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, just as like an idea. Like who? Not saying you're white whale, because I know you're like, well, if we can get Mark Cuban, let's assume we're not getting.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, who's realistic? Who, or at least a vertical? You go, I'm gonna go try to find someone in this area. Like,
You know who I'd like to get on the show that's in town? And Bill Hornbuckle. So,
yes,
Billy, if you're
CEO of
listening,
yeah.
come on, buddy.
No one will ever say you don't shoot for the moon. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think
Why not? That's not unattainable.
it's not unattainable. It might be. I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I don't know the guy. Never met him. Know a lot of folks that worked for him, typically, as opposed to with him. But he's thought of as a very personable, like,
Yeah.
I bet if he came here, it would be like a really cool thing. Like there'd be magic in that episode. But he's also the guy that like goes on the CNBC or whatever, MSNBC, to talk about the markets to 500 million people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, our distribution may not be big enough for him to go, I'm going to make the hour, right? So we're in.
It would be beneficial for your time.
We'll buy snacks or
Yeah.
whatever you need.
I'll give you a mug.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's a good challenge.
Free mug.
And who doesn't love a free mug? Oh,
How about you?
Ooh, what's good?
Flip it back on you before we end
You
this
always do that.
this
Yeah.
piece.
I don't know. I was.
It's hard, huh?
It's not. Yeah, you know, it's. Well, considering I'm the one asking all our current guests to come on, I've kind of exhausted. Oh, shots fired, buddy.
Cold-blooded.
Shots fired. I thought it would be cool to get somebody like locally in the sports scene. So like whether it's a Raiders exec or a Golden Knights exec, and kind of get into like how they're seeing it. Because growing up here, there was such a time where it was like so unheard of that a professional team would be here, because gambling is bad and it's like the bookies are horrible people and whatever. And now it's like, hey, not only are they here, they're partnering with the big companies, they're sports betting on everything. Like, it's completely flipped on its head, the narrative. And now we have the Knights, we have the Raiders, we have the Aces with the women's basketball. Sounds like we might get the A's. I mean, you're starting to have, there's always rumors about an NBA team. So like all of a sudden you might have all the teams.
Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, you'd never think. Like, you'd have to go to LA to watch games. So I'd love to hear kind of somebody that's in that side of it go, well, how did you flip that on its head? Because that's not the only industry that we face stigma. Like, even, again, some of these communities you drive to, and they're like, stop the casino, it's going to ruin our lives. And it's like, well, maybe. Like, I don't know. Like, they obviously don't want the gaming there. Why? Like, what element are you worried about? So I'd just be interested to see, like, the other side of that and how that kind of narrative got flipped on its head, as we clearly are here now. So,
For sure.
what do you think, man?
I think we end the show here, and we're excited to be back, and we're excited that you guys tuned in. And thank you for all your support in the past, and
Yeah.
hopefully support in the future. And we'd love to hear from you.
We're doing it. And if you're still with us, which means you're a true loyalist, like us, subscribe to us, send us a note. We love hearing it. So we'll catch you next time. Peace out.
Peace.
Yep.